Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKvadash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and salutations to you brothers that push this word in truth and in sincerity. Coming back with another lesson, and I'll make this quick. It's not going to be too long. So, this lesson, as we can see, with the spirit of the Passover, rolling around. The Passover is tomorrow at even, and the Lord is showing that all these other Israelite groups are full of shit and bugging out because they're all changing their doctrine. From cursing out High Priest Ariah and saying he's pretty much not a man of the Lord, and the hell doctrine, Israelites are going to burn forever. The MOTB is sin and it's spiritual, and a bunch of madness, a bunch of things that are not sound doctrine. All right. So that's the spirit that the Lord has, floating around these Israelite camps, and it's all for a purpose. Okay, it's to show who's the Lord's who He's dealing with. All right. Now, matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. Second Esdras. Let's see. All right. Second Ezra 16 and 72. It says, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Let me start at 71. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, and still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." And this is Jacob's trouble. All right. And that's one thing that Bishop Nathaniel said from IUIC, said that there wasn't going to be any time of Jacob's trouble. All right. But it's clearly in the scriptures. All right. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. They shall be, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. All right. So, we're approaching a time when, it's going to be known who the Lord's chosen is. All right. Who the group that, Yahweh Shemi Shai was and is truly dealing with. All right. Now, there's, like we say, starting with the apostles and elders, that, there's righteous brothers amongst these various other Israelite groups. But it's going to come a point to where they're going to have to get away from them. But overall, Great Millstone is the home of the truth. Has the apostles and elders have been blessed with the 100% truth, and that's what they teach and give us, younger men. All right. But, all these Israelite groups is changing their doctrine drastically, speaking things that's just crazy, So this is Proverbs 24 and 21. It says, "My son, fear thou Yahweh and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change." All right. So these other Israelite groups is changing just like the wind. The wind will blow in various directions. At the drop of a dime, it switch directions and go some other direction. You know what I'm saying? And that's these Israelite groups not being rooted in Yahweh Shai. Their doctrines are constantly changing. Nathaniel and IUIC, they used to preach that The MOTB was an embargo. You know, uh, then it's a spiritual, it's this and that. You know, they should teach that the Sabbath was it's a they teach that it's according to the new moon. I mean, excuse me, the full moon, All right, I believe they used to teach the Sabbath was according to the new moon, and then they switched it over to the Sabbath being according to the full moon, which is wrong if you teach that it's according to the full moon. All right, so that's just another thing of how their doctrines are switching, and they're given to change, man. Hey, the Lord said He changes not. All right, when you read the book of Malachi, it says that He is the Lord and He changes not. So if the Lord changes not, and you have something such as a instrument in heaven, being the moon, that goes through its cycle, that's will continue to go through that cycle for all eternity. All right, who the hell are we as humans? You know what I'm saying, as worms, Jacob thou worm, to just change up what the Lord gave as an ordinance. It's stupid to do that, man. But a lot of these Israelite groups have sold out and are simply, gathering the masses to be sheeps, led to the slaughter. All right. Ultimately, that's what it is. When you join one of those organizations such as IURC, you got to give up you got to change your last name. You got to give them your birth, your social security number, your government name, all your age and address, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some government type dealings. Okay, and the Lord ain't with that, man. The Lord is not with that. 2 Timothy 3 and 13, it says, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." Okay, so that's what you have going on in these other Israelite groups is, the heads of those groups being deceivers, and their congregation, their followers, are being deceived. Okay, it says, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them." So we know what it is that we've learned, and we're assured of it. Just like the MOTB, we're assured. All right, we're positive that the MOTB is that C-hip. Okay, we know who we learned it from. We give double honors. All right, because double honors to the apostles and elders because they're worthy of it. And like I said, we're assured that what we have received, being 100% truth, is just that, and that it's through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that we've been given that those revelations and those breakdowns, those interpretation of scriptures, the interpretation of scriptures, should I say. And let me get my next precept. It says 1 Timothy 1 and 4 says, "Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, in which is in faith, so do. Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned." All right, let me read that in the NLT. It says, "The purpose of my instruction is that all believers will be filled with love that comes from a pure heart, a clear conscience, and genuine faith." All right. And that's what these guys don't got. These other Israelite groups, majority of them, they don't have genuine faith. Leaning on Esau and having a 501c3 charter is not genuine faith, because you actually got to go to Esau to get that, man. or you got faith in the Lord, but you going down to Esau like, hey, I want to sign up for your 501c3 charter program. That's not faith, man. That's not genuine faith in the Lord. All right, the Lord didn't go to the Romans and make some type of league with them. All right. Verse 6, 1 Timothy 1:6, it says, from which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling. So these other Israelite groups, they're all tweaking out, man. Okay, and they're turning aside from genuine faith to vain jangling. Okay, I'm gonna read it NLT, 1 Timothy 1:6. It says, but some people have missed the whole point. They have turned away from these things and spend their time in meaningless discussions. All right, and that's all that's going on is a bunch of meaningless discussions amongst these other Israelite groups, and those meaningless discussions turn into, them remixing their doctrine to to be even worse. It sounds even worse than what it was. It's like that old CD. When you was in high school, that was all scratched up, and at certain points of the record, it's gonna start skipping. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna take it home and try and rub it down with some toothpaste to help it out. Make it stop skipping or whatever. All right, so you let your friend borrow the CD and they scratch it up, so it's even more parts of the record that skip. That's these dudes' doctrines, man. All right, just all soup sandwich chewed up, man. Verse 7, it says, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor where they affirm. All right. So, a lot of these Israelite groups are harp upon the law, but, they don't even understand what it is they're talking about, nor can they affirm, what it is they're talking about. Okay. Verse 7 in the NLT, it says, they want to be known as teachers of the law of Moses, but they don't know what they're talking about, even though they speak confidently. All right, and when I read that, I think of Alazar from Sakari. All right, think of Wi-Fi. All right, Wi-Fi Seattle. I believe they're Wi-Fi Ohio or something like that. But these dudes speak confidently, but be chopping the law up, man. But a lot of them feel that, in the case of IURC, that salvation is through the law. The way they harp upon the law, keep the law, keep the law, keep the law. They harp upon it like that's going to be the ticket to salvation. But the point being that these guys are given to change, man. Given to change, and that's you're not supposed to meddle with individuals like that, groups like that. So Lord willing, this was edifying. Till next time, shalom.